Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining me here once again. And as promised, let's draw some male anatomy muscles since my last video was on the female arm. So this one has a lot more definition, and I've always liked the back muscles here. It's always fun to draw. There's a lot of interesting definitions as opposed to, drawing like the chest muscles and things like that, which is a little overdone, I guess. So let's try this, and I'm just going to be using a 4B. And let's try it this way, where I'm gonna try to use these little wiggly shapes as opposed to, cross hatching or any other kind of methods. So I'm just gonna draw this part right here and see how it goes. I mean, I might draw more. I'm just gonna see where it ends up. So here, I'm just drawing these shapes. A little water drop shape in here. And then right in the middle here. Little bump here and then bigger bump on the back. So I'm pretty much ignoring the anatomy, like what it is, and just drawing what I see. Unless you really want to learn anatomy, then you can learn, all those names for all the different muscle groups and things like that. But I'm a little lazy on that, so I'll just draw what I see. Here, see bump here, and then it gets pretty dark down here. Another bump here, here. Yeah, this is really cool back here. I'm seeing all these little shapes here. Okay, let's go with this for now. I don't want to sketch too much. It's probably really hard for you guys to see anyways because it's all pretty messy. But let's just start shading and see how it goes. I'm going to start right here. So let's try these little wiggly shapes. So my pencil is always on the surface, and I'm going to draw this little shape here first. So the 4B, you can see how much texturing it is. Maybe I should have used a 2B, but okay, let's just go with it. So it leaves a lot of little gaps everywhere. Right here is a little bit darker. I'm gonna push that in. Actually, pretty dark line here. I'm a little hesitant to draw in a dark line. So for the darker area, I'm just gonna push right in, just a little bit harder, but I'm still trying to keep this wiggly shape here. Pushing down a little bit harder right here. And then very light right here. My hand's very light. And then the very dark areas right here, I'm just gonna skip it for now. So just remember, as I'm sketching this, it's like right here, right? This little mound right here. And the highlight's right around here, but we can't see this unless we draw this darker right here. So as we push in this area, all of a sudden this area pops up. So that's kind of, how you need to see that, just kind of visualize as to what's going on here. And that will kind of really help. So see these little, just little shapes. here, slightly darker here. And this is very light coming out here like this. Okay, so let's come down here. Because these are a little bit more subtle up here. I think it's always better to draw in the dark parts first. That way it'll kind of give us a gauge as to how dark everything else needs to be. It's lighter here. Now sometimes I'm not sure how dark to make it, and you know, if you want to be safe, you can always go in real light first, like here, just go in real light. Let's say I'm going to draw this. Now I know this is darker down here, but I can just draw a light first. Okay, so just do that first, and then you come in here and keep darkening it up. So it's a little bit safer to do it this way. It's just a little bit more time consuming. If you're able to see it, it's actually good to just come in here and just hit it real hard, and then go from there. Go from the darks, and then we can, you know, put in the midtones here, and it'll just save you a little bit more time. Because if you make light first and then you keep going over and over again, it does take a while. Let's do down here. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit of a bulge here, right? It feels a little bit better. Now right here, I'm gonna hit that a little bit harder, since I do need to get that line in there. Okay, so let's keep coming down here. Let's try to put more work in this arm right here. It's darker right here. Pretty hard crease. And again, this is pretty dark right here, so I'm just gonna ignore that. Let's see, okay, this gets a little bit trickier now. These shapes are not as obvious. Like these shapes are obvious, right? These big ones over here. These smaller ones over here, it's a little trickier. So we're getting down here. I'm gonna hit that a little bit harder. Kind of give me like a little anchor point here so I know what all these other shapes are. Little reference point, I mean. Okay, so let's clean this up a little bit. Let's see. We'll have to draw some lines here. There's a big bump here. Something like that. Now my pencil, this 4B, I'm starting out pretty dark. I mean, pretty dull. And I did that intentionally because for this kind of wiggly things, I kind of like to keep it dull. It's a little bit faster. If my pencil is really sharp, it's a little bit too many lines, a little bit too delicate, and then you end up being a little more tentative in the shading. Whereas this is nice and flat, and it helps me to stay loose and not take it so seriously. Okay, so let's see, let's come down here a little bit more. This elbow is actually pretty cool right here. This little bony part right here. So dark here. So I'm just gonna push that in. a little shape here. Okay, so there's a little rim lighting right here. And again, we're not going to see that until we shade in this part darker. So we'll just keep it like this for now. Let's come back up here. I think this area needs a little bit more love. Now right here, there is some rim lighting right here. And that's going to help to separate us from the chest muscle right here. So darker here. And then let's see, this is lighter. Just gonna draw a little line. Keep it very, try not to draw like really hard lines. Just keep it a little bit wavy. It's a little bit better than hard lines, especially for anatomy. Like just real light. In general, these lighter lines are better because we want to bring the shape out through shading, not through the lines. Okay, so now let's see. I'm saying this needs to be a lot darker. Okay, probably won't go down too far. Yeah, I thought we were gonna give this more love here. So as I sketch, and I'm sure it happened to you too, it's just you start going and then it just kind of leads you away to what you originally was trying to do. But that's okay. Okay, let's see. Let's come back up here. Let's get this nice big shape here. Bone area right here. Seems like it's a little bit off. See, if I look at this dot here, it's almost straight up from this, maybe slightly over, so it should be right around here, but I've drawn it over here. So I'm just gonna correct that real quick. Very easy to erase with these kneaded erasers because I'm not pushing down that hard, and it's a very soft pencil. Very easy to erase. Just kind of dab it and it comes right out. So that's one good thing about using soft pencils. It's just very easy to lift the graphite off. Right here. So this is a lot lighter. Okay, let's see. I'm seeing down here. I'm not sure if I want to make this all dark. You could keep it as like an artistic expression here. If we just kind of draw in this part right here, shade in this part, we can actually leave that dark. Let's see, let's try it out. So this would be like the Terminator right here, right? This is where the light's gonna fall off. And you see a lot of, life drawing, anatomy, whatever style this way, where they leave very dark areas where it's just big black area. Just kind of leave it lighter and just shade in the Terminator instead and leave the dark area off. It almost has like a certain glow to it almost. Okay, so let's finish up the back right here. So let's see, I'm trying to visualize this here. Here's darker. Just a more subtle area, so. Because this shape is really rolling away. It's a very deep crevice right on the spine, so it's a little bit, the transition is a little bit faster. Sometimes I get lost as to where I am. Comes down here. Yeah, this part here is a little complicated. There's a little bit of rim lighting here. And then again, we can't see this edge until we shade in the back here. So I don't know how much further we want to go across. But let's see. All right, let's come back here and maybe I'll draw some more here. Just kind of stepping away a little bit just to see what needs more attention here. Let me see if I can make this, just kind of unify everything a little bit. Make sure the values are accurate. This is probably too light here. So if you compare this patch right here, this should be a lot lighter than this, right? So that's how I'm kind of trying to compare. Try to make everything consistent here. Darker. Okay, so I'm not going to draw too much of the arm going down. So this part right here, yeah, this needs to be a lot darker. So now is the easier part, right? Because we've kind of shaded everything already. So now we're just kind of refining things, so it's a little bit easier. We know where things are already. Okay. All right, looks okay. Yeah, you can really go in and start refining the shapes and, you know, get little sharper edges or a little bit of line work here. If you don't want to keep doing this shape, because sometimes it's so subtle, you kind of have to go in and just drawing these little lines like that. All right. I suppose you can do that too, but very light. At a certain point, you know, you're gonna have to go pretty small in the circles for the detail, so. Trying to turn my pencil just to get a little bit harder edge so I can fill in those little gaps right there. Okay, so I think that is about it. I don't want to, I mean, I can draw more of the other side, but then it's more the same of this. And, you know, I might add in some more detail, but again, it's the same process. if I want to add in more, I'd probably have to sharpen up the pencil a little bit and really go in there and refine little things. But you know, these are kind of stuff where you can spend, you know, you can spend hours just doing this, and it'll be very nice at the end. But man, it takes a long time. So I might or might not do that off camera. But either way, you know, that's how you do it for these kind of shading. Just make these little wiggly shapes. Try to see the shape here, and then so like if this was like one bulge right here, just kind of keep going. You can turn your pencil as you're going. Get a little bit more edge. And slowly but surely, you know, this shape comes about, and which is kind of cool. So it just kind of lifts off the paper. Okay, so yeah, nice and soft. So very good for musculatures, and you can really draw some decent looking anatomy if you want to spend a lot of time on it. So okay, yeah, that's it for this. I don't know what to draw next. You guys can always let me know. And hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you guys next time.